Hey, welcome back. I'm really excited to share with you a drawing using one of the 3D shapes from the 3D shapes drawing video. I noticed a lot of you really enjoyed that video. It seemed pretty helpful. We're going to take it a step farther now and be able to use the cylinder that we learned how to draw in that previous video and actually transform it into something that is a cylinder in real life. So one of my favorite artists is Andy Warhol. He's the artist who created pop art in the 1960s. You've probably seen a lot of his artwork maybe without even realizing it. He's the one who did the multicolored Marilyns, the Campbell's soup cans, the multicolored Elvises, a lot of celebrity and popular items in his paintings. He was a really fun artist. So we're going to recreate his Campbell's soup can artwork in a drawing today. And that'll kind of use that cylinder shape that we learned before. So we're going to draw together today. I'm going to be drawing with a pencil, and we're going to start out by drawing a flattened, foreshortened oval. That kind of gives the illusion that we're looking at the oval from the side and not from above. So we're going to start out by drawing a frowning curved line. And it's not super curved. It's not like we're drawing a rainbow. We're just kind of drawing a frowning curve. And underneath that, we're going to connect it together with a smiling curved line. After you do that, it's going to kind of look like a human eye that's kind of squinting closed. Underneath that, we're going to add two little lines and interconnect that. We're going to kind of clone this curved line up above. We're going to double it up. This would make the silver rim edge at the top of the soup can. We're going to do the same thing here, cloning the curved line above to make the inner top rim of the soup can. And soup cans have a lot of texture in the top. I'm not really sure what the reason is for that, whether it's to help a can opener grab a hold of that better, if it's just something they do in the manufacturing. So we're going to start with a just a short line in the middle. We're going to come around that, kind of curve around that, starting and stopping when we hit the line underneath. We're going to do the same thing again, kind of starting and stopping as we run into things. Then I'm just going to fill in that little bit of empty space. I can't really fit another circle through there. I'm going to fill in until those corners have some curves too, and that kind of helps to give the texture at the top of the can. If you could fit another line through there, you could go ahead and do that. We would just add a few other thinner curves in between some of those. That looks pretty good. From underneath that, we're going to pull down a straight line. I find that just kind of swiping the line a little bit as I go, not trying to just draw it all at once, that kind of helps me to keep things pretty straight without using a ruler. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. You could easily turn this cylinder into a can of pop drawing as well. You would just change the top part and add the tab and the different details for a soda can. And we're going to connect these with a curved line since this is a round object and it's a cylinder. We're going to add a couple really little lines underneath that and connect them with a curved line. Again, cloning it and matching it as closely as we can to the line above. Then on a Campbell's soup can, the top part's red and the bottom part's white. We're going to have to divide those halves with a curved line. If you were to divide it with a straight line, it would make this object look flat. By using a curved line, it helps it to stay looking 3D and looking like a cylinder. Then we're going to overlap a circle in the middle about halfway in the top part and halfway in the bottom part. And we're going to erase the overlap because the circle's now on top. And I do okay with drawing circles free-handed, but if you had something on hand that you needed to trace to get that circled, then definitely do that to make it a little bit easier for you and a little bit neater. I'll kind of go back through and darken that up a little bit. Now you're going to kind of think of your favorite flavor of soup. I'm going to go with tomato today. And before we write our flavor of soup, we're going to come down here and add another doubled up line right above the edge of the can. And I'm going to double that up one more time, and I'll show you why here in just a little bit. It's just part of the details of a Campbell's soup can. And you could also refer to the block letter video. We're going to kind of put the block letters in action today at the bottom of the can as we try to add the labeling. So we're going to first write the word soup in all capital letters really lightly just on top of that last curved line that we added. I'm trying to make sure they're all the same height. It's got enough space in between the letters, because now I'm going to come in and start adjusting those to block letters. I'm just kind of taking my time, adjusting those as I need to, trying to get them all the same height and all the same thickness. And if you're not great at block letters, I do have a video posted. You could always refer to that and practice a little bit before you add the block lettering in. And then once you're done block lettering, you could outline this picture. A lot of times when I do this project, I do it with second grade, and we always add a Sharpie outline because they wind up painting theirs in class after we draw it. And so if you'd like to outline it, you could just pull out a Sharpie or a fine tip pen or marker and just kind of trace the edges of your letters. And I'll show you why that's a good idea, especially if you're not great at block letters. You've got a lot of lines on the inside. Once it's outlined, then you can just come back in and be able to erase the mess out of the middle of the letters. It just really helps to neaten everything up. Okay, next, you're going to pick that flavor of soup like we'd mentioned before. I'm going to choose tomato today. So we're going to fit that up above the word soup. And again, Campbell's usually prints that in all capital letters, or at least they did in the 1960s when Warhol made the soup can artwork famous. So we're going to kind of recreate what it would have been like in the 60s. I must be in a 60s mood because I just posted another video about op art, which is creating optical illusions. So if you really like that 60s style artwork, you're enjoying this video, that might be another good one for you to try. So we're going to come through and block letter this one as well. Just really take your time and make those look nice. We're trying to kind of keep them all the same thickness, all the same height. Warhol kind of had it a little bit easier because he was doing something called printmaking, where he could make a stencil, add the paint inside, and be able to recreate these drawings perfectly over and over and over again. A lot like how they would produce a label in a factory with the use of a machine and technology. Doing it by hand takes a little bit more care to get all the lettering kind of centered and correctly spaced, same thickness, same height. And again, if you like that outlined look, You could go ahead and outline those letters. I think that just really makes it look sharp, really makes it look clean and more professional, especially when you come back in and add that color with your choice of supplies. We always do this as a watercolor project in 2nd grade, but something that you could use markers on, colored pencils on. This picture really lends itself to being able to use a lot of different art mediums or art supplies. Then again, it's always nice to come back in and erase out any of the pencil marks, just really get it nice and clean. And of course, if you decide to outline the letters, you'll also want to come back in and outline the can, which I can do here in a few minutes to show you a finished project. We're going to add a fleur-de-lis, and a fleur-de-lis is a French symbol, and let me see if I can zoom that in for you here just a little bit. Kind of adjust this down just a second so you might be able to see this part a little bit better, because it's kind of a small piece. So you're going to add a line, you're going to add a diamond on top. We're kind of simplifying a French symbol, and we're adding like these little candy cane shapes at either side with a line across. We're going to repeat that 4 times, so we'll have 2 on each side. We're trying to really space those out, spread them out nice and even, same thickness, same height. I'll give you a second here to get those drawn in. Okay, and that's a detail that you would find on the original soup can from the 1960s. And we've just kind of simplified it down a little bit. Okay, we're going to write another detail up here on the top. The soup cans that Warhol produced prints of back in the 60s had the word condensed, and I do think that's still a part of the labeling today. So we're going to just spell that out. It's a big word. We're going to write it in all capital letters up here above the circle. And we're going to let that just be in writing. We're not going to transform that to block letters. This would be a really cute drawing for a kitchen. Okay, and then if you're good at cursive, and even if you're not, if you're a younger student here drawing with me, we're going to write the word Campbell's across the top. It's just a regular letter C. We're going to loop it and curl it in. Lowercase letter A. We're going to hook in the letter M at the tail of the A, up and down for the letter P. We add that curve, rabbit ear loop, down and around. Campbell's kind of sticks a capital letter E in there in the middle of the word, and their L's are just lines. They don't have any loops like a real cursive L would have. We're going to add that cursive letter S. Just kind of try to get it right in the center. Mine's just slightly off of the center, but it still looks pretty good. And then the seal in the middle of the can, it has a person in the middle of the can. We always just kind of simplify that down. There's not a lot of space for us to draw in there, so we always just start out with a little letter U. Again, let me see if I can go ahead and zoom that in for you here so it's a little bit easier to see. So we'll draw a little letter U. We'll add a curved line above to make it into an oval for a head. We'll add 2 little lines for the neck. Connect that with a letter V. We'll add a candy cane shape, backwards candy cane shape, line across and up, kind of making rectangles, but we're not letting it come all the way back up to the shoulders. We'll come down to make the robe, add a wavy line across, kind of like they're standing on a pedestal. We'll add curved lines for the hands. We're just really simplifying things. Could add a couple lines in here for wrinkles in that robe. We're going to add a curved line here, a couple lines for hair, 2 little lines across for the eyes, backwards L for the nose, little line across for the mouth. We'll add just some curved lines here and double those up, kind of like little scrolls, making it look a little fancier. I'm going to write the word 1900. Seems like that's when Campbell's went into business. And a little curved line behind, double it up. This kind of makes it look like a little chariot or a throne. It's kind of an old Greek type drawing in the middle of that circle and the real can. We're going to add some little squiggle lines to show there's writing. We don't really have room to write the details, but we're just given the idea that there's writing there. You could then come in and add some color to that and finish outlining it. I'll go ahead and do that just so you can see a finished project. And of course I'll go ahead and kind of speed through it so you can see the finished product. You could definitely use marker, colored pencil, crayon, paint, whatever you have on hand, whatever you think will look best. Warhol was famous for making pictures of these, and he would repeat them and display them together. He displayed up to 100 of these together in the 60s. So this is a project that you could make all different flavors of soup, kind of mat them or frame them together. And again, I think it'd look really cool in a kitchen, maybe be a nice gift for Mother's Day. Just kind of a fun project and a fun decoration. Hope you had fun drawing this today. Thanks for joining me as always, and hope you like the finished product. I'll go ahead and finish this up so that you can see what it looks like done.